Hello everyone, it's me, DillysSims. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Speed Build Sunday, the day of the week where I build whatever I want. Because I can. So, this week I built a very rich, affluent family home. And so I kind of regret it just a tad bit, but I also absolutely love this house. First of all, I love rich families. I love big houses. And this house definitely fits that criteria. But it's a time thing because usually I'm like, okay, pump out a real quick one bedroom. Oh, sorry, it's not even one bedroom. Two, maybe three bedroom, two bath house. And that's normally what I make. But today I was like, going through Google, which is a huge motivator. Google is what gives me life. I go, whenever I'm like, what do I build? I go onto Google and I usually Google like any sort of house, vintage homes, modern homes, or just houses. And then whatever I see, I don't always replicate it, but sometimes I'll take like bits and pieces and like make it into my own. And sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's a miss. But this house was definitely 110% a hit. I love it so much. It's definitely a house I would play in, but this is the only but I have about this house. And this is, I don't want to attack the Sims or like shit on them, but like their roofing tool, especially with like the, excuse my terminology, the right wing of the house, so anything past like the garage where the house is to the right, the second story, it's so hard to like see anything because the roof gets in the way. And that's the only but of that I have about this house. So if I played in it, I would definitely just delete everything on the right side of the house. Completely unnecessary. I built that I built that side of the house because I was just gonna I didn't even know what I was gonna build. When I first started it, I didn't know what I was gonna build in the house. I didn't know what the floor plan would look like. I didn't know what was gonna happen with the right side of the house. But then as I continued building, I decided the right side of the house would be like a rented apartment type of room. So the furniture is super cheap. The right side is poorly furnished because I imagine that if you have a house for rent, I wouldn't know, my family doesn't rent houses, it would be lightly furnished, just very, very lightly, with like super cheap furniture that you can buy from like people on Letgo. And you would leave it poorly decorated, or it's not even poorly, because poorly decorated means like a standard of like living quotation marks. It's like a standard of like quality. It would be minimally, there you go, minimally furnished, because if it was minimally furnished, the person that is going to rent would be able to decorate it accordingly to their like taste and style. So that's what I had planned for, well, I didn't plan it, but as it went on, that's what I planned for the right side of the house to be. But the left side, like the main side where everything is going on, the study, the parents' room, or the master bedroom, the other three rooms, it's a beautiful home for you and your family. There's a huge pool in the backyard, like huge. I can't say I always build pools. I'm pretty frugal with the amount of pools that I build, but when it comes to a huge pool, oh girl, I build huge pools. That pool is huge. It could be bigger, obviously. It could always be bigger, but in comparison to previous houses that I've built, oh girl, that house is excuse me, oh my gosh, I can't speak. That pool is huge. It's just gigantic. And I love it. And then there's a cute little, like, I want to say it's a, no, you know what? It's a garden. There's garden planters. You can, like, plant. You just have to delete the plants that are there inside the planters. But the planters, mwah, beautiful, amazing. The garden is just amazing. I love the wishing well there. I normally don't use the wishing well. I feel like it's rare when I use it, but I have used it in quite a few builds. But it's just so great. This house is like what I want to live in every single day. Maybe not with like the decorating scheme, but like the floor plan layout. Oh girl, that's exactly what I want for a house. I would decorate it much more gaily. I would put diamonds and like, oh, there would be a full bar inside the main house, not the pool house that's attached to like the guest house or like the rented property. I would go above and beyond. And for some reason I noticed that when I placed it, because I built on a 64 by 64, excuse me, a 64 by 64 lot, but I transferred it to a 50 by 50, and somehow when I transferred it, furniture went missing. And if you download it off the gallery and there's like furniture missing from the screenshots, I'm so sorry. I have no idea. I tried to go back and like add furniture. Like there was a counter missing, and the counter with the coffee maker completely disappeared when I was taking like screenshots of what the house looked like. And I don't know what the hell's going on with The Sims, but I'm letting you know it's a possibility. If you find something that's missing, not the end of the world, you could just add it. And I think I used every single pack for the most part, and I'm so sorry. But if you're going to build a huge house, you're not going to build a huge house with like one pack. Because when you build big houses, and this is like a building tip from DillysSims, when you build a big house, there's a lot more to furnish and like decorate, more space to fill. So always build small houses. I mean, I know right now I'm building a huge house, which I absolutely hate myself. But that's why I normally build small houses. Not just because of time constraints, but because you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time decorating a small space, and you can use less packs. So that's just like a building tip from DillysSims. I know you guys don't sign up for like build tutorials or build stuff from my channel. Like you don't come here and you're like, I wonder what DillysSims has to say about building. No, I know you guys come for the drama of my life and the wonderful, intellectual, stimulating stories I have to tell. If you can't see me, but I'm rolling my eyes. What stories do I have to tell you guys today? Or, yeah, what happened in the past week that I can tell you? There's some drama going on at work, and I, like, really want to tell you guys, but I don't know if I should. You know, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait another week. When it kind of blows over a little bit, that's when I'll tell you guys. So expect next week to be like a drama filled episode with like drama that's going on at work and like coworkers, because there is some juicy drama and I love it. Oh, you know what I could talk about? This is good. Okay, related to work. I had a very, very long day yesterday. So I went to work at 7 a.m. That's sometimes pretty standard. And then I had to go to school. So I went to work from 7 to 1, came home, changed, and then got things ready to go to school. And then I went to school from the hours of 3 to 7. And then I had to go back to work because we had a stupid mandatory training day. It was so dumb. It always happens after like we close the doors. And it was I I have been working at the same company for 6 years and I'm like over it. But I've been to this meeting so many times that I don't have to pay attention, and if we had like a test or an exam, I would pass with like flying colors. It's the safety training fee talks about the following: knife safety, fires, what else? Chemicals and using chemicals properly. And then this was the highlight of the meeting, and I'm so happy I went because we just started doing this last year. And I'm so happy we went because, or I went, not we, I went because we did a active shooter training. Oh my gosh, shit got real so fast and I loved it. I wish we could do active shooter trainings all the time. So the security guards that like are obviously in charge of keeping us safe, they were like, okay, these are the safe areas that you have to go to if an active shooter shows up and like shoots up your store. And so they broke us up into 2 teams, and oh girl, it was so good. I am gonna survive 100% because let me just tell the story. I'm getting too excited right now. We broke into 2 teams, and then he was like, okay, pretend like you're at work. So I went to the cash register, like touched the computer screen, pretended to charge a customer, and then all of a sudden you hear, I have a gun and I'm gonna shoot you. And then I hauled ass. Like, I pushed coworkers out of the way. I hauled ass to the safe room. I was like, move, bitch! And I pushed a coworker out of the way. Oh, you know for sure DillysSims is gonna survive 110%. It was so real. And then when everyone was in the safe room, you're supposed to like lock the door. I went above and beyond. One of the safe rooms is like where we keep our merchandise, and they have like fold out tables. I pushed a box out of the way, got underneath the table, and pushed the box in front of me, so I was hiding in the group of people. So if somebody with a gun came in, they would have shot everyone, thought that was everyone, and I would have been safe. And actually, people who were in the room with me didn't even know I was under the table hiding. I would have been so safe. And then he did it, or the security guards did it twice. The second time he was like, okay, some of you guys didn't yell lockdown, because that's what you're supposed to yell if there's an active shooter. Because there's no way to alert other people in different departments that there's an active shooter. So he let us go back to pretend to work. And so again, you heard, I'm gonna shoot all of you. And I screamed bloody murder. I was like, lock down, lock down, lock down. Like, all of my coworkers heard me for sure. I got in the room. There was a coworker in front of me. So like, I didn't push her out of the way. This time I squatted, because I was like, if that's a guy with a gun, he would be shooting, right? So I squatted down and pushed her quicker and faster into like the safe room. And then when we got into the safe room, I took it super serious. I was like rocking back and forth. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna die. We're gonna die. Oh my god, we're gonna die. And my coworkers were like, Dylan, it's just like practice. And I was like, but what if it's real? What if this happened for reals? There's no way I would sit there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna pull out my phone. I'm gonna check what's on YouTube. I wonder what my emails are like. No, I would have a mental breakdown for sure. I already suffer with like, I don't want to say mental issues, but like, I feel like there's a whole level of like my mentality that I haven't like thought about deeply. I'll go into that in a different video, but I would definitely lose my goddamn mind. Would I scream? No. I can be quiet. I would just like go to my happy place mentally, probably, if there was a guy with a gun. But oh my gosh, you know for sure DillysSims would survive an active shooter. And then while we were like listening to other people's lectures, I turned to my coworker and I was like, do you think I would be in trouble if during the active shooter practices I locked everyone out of the safe room. And she was like, well, you're supposed to hold the door open and like flag people in. And I was like, yeah, but that's until it becomes unsafe. If it's unsafe, I'm not. If the guy is running towards me, I'm not gonna like hold the door open for you. I'm gonna like close it, lock it, and let you take a bullet or two because I don't want bullets on my body. I take great care of my body. You, on the other hand, but I definitely don't want this perfect body ruined by a guy with a gun shooting bullets into me. Yeah. So that happened. It was the best part of my day yesterday. It was a really long day. Like, I woke up at 7. No. Lies. I had to be at work at 7. So I was up at like 5:45 and I didn't go to bed until almost 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a really long day. I typed up an essay that I had to write. And, oh, this pissed me off a lot because I was like, you couldn't keep your mouth shut, you stupid person. But I showed up to the meeting, again, after everybody because I had class. So I left class and then went to the meeting. So I was already late. And I cannot sit down without doing anything. So I can't like sit down and just listen to you talk for a long period of time because I will fall asleep. I'm just so consistently tired that that's not a possibility. So of course I brought an energy drink to stay awake. And during the safety meeting, they were like, it's super important to like stay hydrated and blah, 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 all this stuff. And like avoid caffeine. And so while they were saying that, I took a sip of my drink and I was like, yum, delicious. I didn't say it, obviously, but I just took a sip. And, like, during the 5-minute break that they had, she's not even a coworker. She's, like, above me, but she's, like, in human resources. She was like, Dylan, I saw, like, she announced it out loud so everyone, including my boss, could hear me. Dylan, I saw you take a sip of that energy drink while they were talking about no caffeine. And I was like, okay, well, I was thirsty. And, like, they're talking about drinking. It's like listening to somebody or watching somebody yawn and then you yawn. And I tried to explain it to her. And I'm like, I really hope, because I have to go back to work today. I'm recording this before I have to go to work. I really hope that if I go to work today, my boss doesn't get mad at me because it's going to be a huge, stupid, ridiculous thing to get mad about. It's just dumb. I really hope not, but I mean, the place that I work at is kind of, like my mother would say, silly. It's pretty silly with the way they, like, handle things. So we'll see. I will keep you up to date because I'm pretty sure, I have a feeling, I have this overwhelming feeling that my boss is going to pull me into her office and be like, Dilly, you are being so disrespectful. You were being so disrespectful during the meeting, and while, like, so-and-so was talking, you know, Anthony, while Anthony was talking, you were being so rude. Whatever. And if that happens, first of all, oh my gosh, it's like my bosses have nothing else better to worry about than, like, reprimanding me for taking a sip of my energy drink at, like, 7:30 at night after a very long day. And then, dare we say second? First, that's the first. Second, like, do you have nothing else better to do than reprimand me? Like, do you not have inventory to take? Do you not have, like, anything else better to do? Make the schedule. Anything else better to do than reprimand me for taking a sip of my energy drink? I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen, but I usually am pretty good about making much ado about nothing. And if you don't know what that means, that's Shakespeare for a big fuss over nothing. I'm pretty good at making a big fuss over nothing. Yeah. I feel like this whole video and many of my videos are just much ado about nothing, a big fuss over nothing. I usually like sit down and I'm like, guys, this is what's going on in my life, blah 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 blah, and it's like not important. But I hope you guys can like stick around and watch and like learn some build techniques, or like listen to me talk and like find me interesting, because I love making these videos. I really do. I think about like my life and like where YouTube sits. If I become a teacher, will I be able to have time? All that fun stuff. It's just a huge like mind game to me. Like The Sims, and no, not even The Sims, YouTube. YouTube is just like a huge, how can I fit this into my life game, you know? I don't know. I'm just sharing. I'm like oversharing this in this video. If you guys think I'm too annoying, please let me know in the comment section below. I probably won't change because it's who I am, but yeah, let me know in the comment section. Do I have anything else going on? Okay, so my professor is so awful. I've talked about this on previous videos. If you just watch the past like 3 or 4 videos, like speed builds, you will know that I have an awful professor for chemistry. My chemistry professor is so awful. He speeds through the notes, and like the other day he was like, oh my gosh, guys, we are like a whole day ahead. But that's just because he like, this is what notes in his class consist of. Blah, 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 click next slide. Blah, 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 click next slide. Blah, 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 click next slide. And we go through it so quickly that like people don't have time to ask questions. And the one time, and I'm never going to ask questions in his class again, because the one time that I asked a question in his class, he made me feel stupid. And like, fair, he did state this is not going to be on the test. You do not have to know about this for the exam. But he like went over how to make a chemical, how to draw out like a chemical bond between 2 chemicals. I forgot what they were. But he like spent, I'm gonna say like 10 minutes showing us how to like draw a chemical bond between these 2 chemicals. And so like I had a question. I was like, what happens if you don't have those 2 like double bonds? And he's like, why are you asking this? And I was like, because I'm curious. I didn't say that, obviously. He's like, because this isn't going to be on the test. And I was like, if it's not on the test, why are you spending 10 minutes showing us this stuff? I come from a world, or a background technically, where I only practiced to take the quizzes and exams. That's all I did, was I studied, took the exam. It was almost similar to what I've studied. Pass, the end. But for some reason he's like, oh, let me show you all of this complex crap that I'm not going to test you on. But I want you to read the entire textbook and know every single thing that's being taught. Like, what? No student is going to learn and everything that's in the textbook. And if they do, holy crap, I applaud them, because that's a lot of reading. Like, a lot of reading. Like, I try to do it because I have a D in the class and I'm barely passing. But holy crap, that's just unnecessary. Super unnecessary. Well, I'm getting close to the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you think of this build. Let me know if you would play in it, if there's like a certain family you have in mind to play it. If you want to see me do any build challenge, or any build for that matter, even like email me photos and I'll do it. My email's in the description box below. Like, subscribe, comment, do all those fun YouTube things, and I will catch all of you guys next time. Bye, everybody.